Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront Updates. Today I wanted to talk about a character I know a lot of people have been waiting for in Star Wars Battlefront, Chewbacca. He will be coming in the Death Star DLC, so in this video I wanted to speculate a bit on how I think he will play out in the game and what abilities he will have. As you know, Chewbacca is a very brave, strong and tough warrior, and this is something I really hope the game will reflect. As of right now, the hero side lacks a proper tank, as Vader has tons of more HP than any other hero currently in the game, and Chewbacca stands a chance of being a good counter for this by having an equal amount of health. Other than the health boost, one interesting part is his main weapon. It's obviously going to be the bowcaster in some way, but the problem is that the current version of the bowcaster wouldn't really make for a very good main weapon, since it needs to be charged up and has a cooldown. But I think I have a good solution for how this possibly could be solved. If they made Chewbacca's bowcaster fire single bolts like in the movies, but still keep the splash damage effect, that would make for a very good main weapon. On top of that, these single shots would one-shot enemies, but have a very slow fire rate, a bit slower than the T-21B. This would make his bowcaster into a very powerful main weapon that can blow enemies up with one shot like in the movies, but it wouldn't be overpowered as it just fires one bolt at a time with a very slow fire rate. So if you do miss a couple of shots in a row, you will be in a very bad situation. Moving on to his abilities, the bowcaster is the only weapon we really see Chewbacca with in the canon material, so speculating on his three abilities is a bit tricky. However, one cool idea I had was an ability based around his roar. I think we all got chills down our spines when Chewbacca roared after Han's death, and I thought that one cool way to implement this would be that when Chewbacca pops his Wookiee roar, all teammates within a specific radius would get like an adrenaline rush, pretty much exactly how the adrenaline Steam charge card works. This would make for an excellent teamwork ability, and imagine when you're storming an uplink or capture point and Chewie screams, making all rebels regenerate their health and get an adrenaline rush. That would be a pretty cool and very helpful ability. The second ability I think he should have is the death packs. We can see him handling these in The Force Awakens, where he and Han puts down multiple explosives and then Chewie detonates them with a remote control. This is one ability I think is really missing from the old Battlefront games, and it would be really cool if Chewie had this ability. Imagine if you capture an uplink, put down a couple of explosives around the room, and then get back into cover and just wait for the enemies. It will obviously have a very similar effect to putting down proximity bombs, but with these you can wait until all enemies are in the room before you blow them up, and I also think they could be a slight bit more powerful than the proximity bombs, and they should also do good damage against vehicles, which the proximity bombs unfortunately do not. Lastly, I really think Chewie needs to have some sort of physical ability. I mean, ripping off arms would be pretty cool, but I doubt that would be allowed in Battlefront, so it would have to be something else. Maybe like a charge would be pretty fitting, but both Dengar and Han already has that ability, so it might be a bit repetitive to have it on Chewie as well. Something that could fit is an ability that kind of mixes the charge together with Greedo's precision shots, where Chewie would run straight forward and automatically shoot enemies on the way, kind of mimicking the scene in The Force Awakens after Han's death, when he rages and shoots down a bunch of stormtroopers while charging forward. That ability would probably be quite hard to implement for DICE and feels like it would easily glitch out, but it would be pretty cool if they managed to pull it off. Those are the three abilities that I think Chewie could have in Battlefront, or at least something along those lines. And lastly, we have his trait. I think that coupled with my idea for how his bowcaster would work, his trait would instead increase his rate of fire, because at first his bowcaster is going to be very slow, but the more he hits enemies and the more kills he gets, the faster he will be able to fire it. So at the highest trait he will be able to take out a lot of enemies very fast. It's a new take on Greedo's trait, as this one increases the fire rate instead of damage, which means that you will still become more powerful over time, but not in the same way. And well, that brings my ideas for Chewbacca to an end. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought about my ideas and if it's something you think could fit in the game. Personally, the heroes is what I'm most excited for in the new DLCs, and hopefully Bossk and Chewie will be as good as the previous ones. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.